Taiwan, I'm Yvonne Yang with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan is testing its combat readiness by launching a series of military exercises ahead of the Lunar New Year. Our reporter AmCham was in southern Taiwan for the start of the drills.
Troops around Taiwan will be holding drills ahead of the Lunar New Year, including at this Air Force base in Pingtung County. They're practicing how to quickly take off and land so that the aircraft can spend as much time as possible in the air. This exercise is supposed to simulate wartime conditions, and these aircraft play a crucial role in gathering information and transportation. China continues to threaten to take over Taiwan. That's why the military is basically demonstrating that while the millions of people travel across Taiwan for the Lunar New Year holiday, that they're ready to go and they're on guard defending Taiwan's sovereignty. Scott Huang and AmCham in Pingtung Air Force Base for TaiwanPlus.
6 people are facing jail time over a deadly factory fire last year. But some survivors worry this won't be the last disaster of its kind. John Van Trieste has this report.
This is what prosecutors in Taiwan have spent months investigating. It's the moment a burning factory in the country's far south exploded last September, killing 10 and injuring over 100. What they found could land the factory's owners in jail. They say the company, Launch Technologies, had 30 times the amount of chemicals it was allowed to keep on site. These chemicals were stored in hot, poorly ventilated units right next to flammable materials. 6 people, including the company's CEO and chairman, will be prosecuted for negligent homicide. Prosecutors want sentences of up to 5 years each.
被告的6人都具有巡视原物料仓库以及监督业务的权限但是呢，被告6人呢却殊未加以注意。为了求生产的方便任由生产物料 C40P 超过管制存量放置。
Launch Technologies has already paid a fine of $77,000. It's covered survivors' medical expenses and set up a trust fund for them worth over $60 million. Its parent company has responded to the prosecutor's latest moves.
民航公司是尊重检察官的意见，那后续也会针对起诉书的内容，跟律师研议后续的法律程序。
But some survivors say they'll find little comfort even if justice is served. One is Mr. Liu, a firefighter at the scene who had to have his left hand amputated. He says with false reporting of chemicals kept on site, this kind of accident could well happen again.
化学的东西，我讲坦白的，我们真的不是专业。以管理层面来说的话，这种真的是企业良心的问题啊。
And for the dead, 6 workers and 4 firefighters sent to the rescue, any stricter enforcement of safety standards that might come out of the case will be too late. Ryan Wu and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Confidence in Taiwan's economy is high, according to the American Chamber of Commerce, which has just released its annual business climate survey. Justin has a summary.
Foreign companies are staying confident in doing business in Taiwan. Over 200 companies under the American Chamber of Commerce, or AmCham, have said in the group's annual survey that they plan to maintain and even increase investments in Taiwan this year. In fact, companies have said that they would invest even more if trade barriers and red tape were removed. These were the areas that companies wish to see improvement in Taiwan. They want to see reduced bureaucratic inefficiencies and also regulations align more with international standards. Now, despite the name, AmCham does represent more than just American companies, but leaders here have said that its members have emphasized a need for more bilateral engagement with the U.S. Last year, the two sides had a milestone agreement. This was the Taiwan-U.S. Initiative on 21st Century Trade. Though this stops short of being a full free trade agreement, it does make the lives of companies easier in the sense of customs and also border procedures. And with the U.S. headed for a presidential election later this year, AmCham leaders have said that urgency to sign the second part of this agreement is key to keep fueling this optimism in Taiwan's economy. Patrick Chen and Joyce Sun in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's workers are giving mixed signals about their satisfaction on the job. A new Labor Ministry survey found nearly 3/4 of people asked were were happy with their current work. That number is in sharp contrast to a recent job bank survey which found nearly 95% of workers want to change positions after the Lunar New Year. That's the highest figure in 15 years. And to shed some light on the Labor Ministry's survey, our reporter Philip Broussard spoke to labor expert Roy Nunn.
What's your take on the latest survey put out by the Labor Ministry?
We saw in the survey that there is quite a high level of satisfaction among the workers, and there were only a few percentage points which were dissatisfied with their work environment. On a tangible level, Taiwan's workers work one of the longest hours among the advanced countries. They earn one of the lowest and most inadequate pay, and this was also something that was reflected in the survey by the Job Bank. In fact, in the Labour Ministry's survey itself, it was also asked whether people are satisfied with their work hours and their pay. And surprisingly, the satisfaction level is quite high in spite of the long work hours and the low pay that people are getting.
Is it significant that the Labor Ministry asked if people were satisfied with their jobs, while the Job Bank survey asked if people wanted to change their jobs? Is that a significant difference, or is it just two ways of asking the same thing?
It really depends. I think because of the different methodologies that the surveys used and the different questions that they use, they might not give us a very good comparative understanding to the populations. But I think what it does give us as an indication from the Job Bank survey is that there is a relatively high level of degree of dissatisfaction with the current jobs that does not completely match the reality presented by the Ministry of Labour. And there could be other surveys or other qualitative information that needs to be provided to try to make sense of the data. There are already international surveys done on work satisfaction, work engagement. On all these measures, Taiwan does not perform well as compared to other advanced countries. So I would actually think for the Labour Ministry, instead of just presenting a survey without more clear initiatives or policy solutions to address the situation, but just presenting workers as being satisfied, it does not allow the situation to be addressed adequately.
That was labor expert Roy Nunn speaking to Philip Broussard. 2 centers employing people with disabilities are set for an eco-friendly makeover. As John Van Trieste reports, the project is designed to give workers a more comfortable, modern workplace.
It's a busy day for Li Chunfeng. He's packing up bread and helping customers at the bakery where he's worked for 10 years. Like many of his colleagues, Li has disabilities, in his case limited vision and cognitive impairment. They're all able and eager to work.
扫地拖地。你喜欢这里的工作吗？喜欢。
Li's employer, the AmCham Social Welfare Foundation, runs 5 different businesses, giving 350 people with disabilities a living and a community.
他们在这里也是有跟同事们相处，所以他们也会有增进他们的人际社交的部分。
But there's a problem. 2 of these businesses are in old buildings that are falling into disrepair. Flooding is a particular issue. The foundation has a plan. It's going to refurbish some of its operations, including a car wash service. The new facilities won't just look nice, they'll be built with green engineering, cutting carbon emissions. The projects plan to be ready for business in 2025.
我们的庇护员工跟我们的10万人次的市民呢，每天都在这里密切的接触。这是一个社会多元、包容、共融的一个非常美丽的景象。
It's not just employment that's the goal, it's dignified and equal employment, where it's a person's work and not their physical or mental condition that counts. Leon Lien and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, if you're scared of heights, you may want to look away from this footage from the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series in New Zealand's Auckland City. I'm Yvonne Yang, take care, and I'll see you next time.